Sonic Superstars is the latest entry in the Sonic series, and this time it's a 2D one. Now when it comes to Sonic, I absolutely adore the 2D games. But for this one, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but hey, don't let me jump to conclusions. I'm sure I'll enjoy this one. But whatever, let's just start. So the big bads of this game are Robotnik, Fang the Sniper, and this person. I don't really remember the name. They do some evil shit, then boom, time for the first zone. Wow, it's not Green Hill Zone this time. Good job, team. This zone is called Bridge Island Zone. Now this being the very first level, it has a very important job. And that's giving us a good first impression. First impressions are everything in a video game, as it lets us decide whether we want to continue playing or not. So how does this game introduce us to the world of Sonic Superstars? Well, it's actually pretty fun. It has sections to explore and to go fast. Act 1 lets you run in the background, find these giant rings, and honestly, it's just fun. Act 2 takes place at dawn and the scenery is great. I always love the sunset scenery in video games, so this gets some points. Act 2 really steps into the speed way more and I love it. But there is still lots to explore and things to find. They also add in a couple of gimmicks like this swinging ball thing and the new loop-de-loop things that's probably way better when you have 4 players. Now you probably noticed that I haven't talked about the bosses, but I'm gonna save those for later because I got a lot of words for those guys. Anyway, that's it for this zone. It was a pretty good opener. Now let's get into the next one, which is Speed Jungle. Now Act 1 makes you realize why it's called Speed Jungle because you go hella fast here. Riding on the vines and dodging these rocket guys is really fun, and this speed is what I look for when playing a Sonic game. There's also these little vine things that give you a jump boost, adding some verticality to the stage. Act 2 adds in this darkness gimmick. It doesn't add too much as it doesn't last the whole level, which thank God. Plus, you got a pretty good source of light thanks to these butterfly guys. Now you don't go as fast as Act 1, but the speed is definitely still there. Now this game introduces player-specific zones for Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. The first encounter is the one in Speed Jungle and it's Sonic's level. This level is fantastic. You have to run from Fang the Sniper and it's pretty damn fun. The whole level isn't just running from him as you do get little breaks, but yeah, I like this level a lot. Well, time for the next zone, which is Sky Temple. Sky Temple is only one zone, which, okay, that's an interesting decision. The gimmick here is the wind things, and it's okay, I guess. They are not really that interesting, but they aren't terrible. Now this is only one act, but it's pretty long. It also does change sceneries, which I do like. We go through this stormy area, and it's actually pretty cool. Honestly, not much to talk about with this zone, as you're barely here. Anyway, next zone is Pinball Carnival. Now I wasn't too excited to play this one because I don't really enjoy these types of levels in 2D Sonic games, because I just find them annoying. But here, it's actually not bad. Act 1 has all of the pinball elements that we're used to seeing, but it doesn't really annoy me, mainly because you can avoid most of them. Now Act 2 is better than Act 1 in my opinion. They added the little roller coaster things, and at first I was like, these better not go slow like in Mario, but I quickly realized these things are on crack. There are more of the pinball sections than in Act 1, but I think it's a good balance to the roller coasters. I found myself going really fast, but when I messed up, the punishment was a slower, more platformy area with these red and blue switches. So overall, Pinball Carnival was a pretty good time. The next act is Lagoon City. Uh-oh, the water stage. Yeah, even though this is a water stage, you can honestly avoid most of the water. There's water sprout things that give you a nice little jump boost, and these slides that help the stage not fall flat. Also what helps the stage is the water power-up you get. Oh yeah, this game has power-ups. The way you get these is by collecting the different Chaos Emeralds. Every time you collect one, it gives you one new power-up. Some help you attack like the clones or the fireball one, and some help you discover different secrets around the map like the water one and the purple one. I forgot the name. These are pretty cool additions to the game and they add a nice level of replayability. but I found myself not really using these as much as I should have. That's probably due to me being a Sonic old head, but whatever. Act 2 of Lagoon City is kinda boring. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of this one. And I don't really know why. Maybe because it actually makes you go through the underwater sections and it really doesn't add anything new from Act 1. Overall, Lagoon City was not that good. Spoiler alert, but I'm gonna start seeing a certain trend for the rest of the game. Next zone is Sand Sanctuary. This is another one act level, so you really aren't spending too much time here. And honestly, that's fine. I'm not really itching to play more Sand Sanctuary. It's the desert level of the game, and just like a lot of desert levels in 2D platformers, it's very forgettable. The scenery doesn't even change like in Sky Temple, which was another Act 1 level. There are some cool ideas here, like walking on this snake creature thing and these fast arrow things, but that's about it. It's a really forgettable zone. Next up is Press Factory. Now this is definitely a step up from the previous zone. This one's gimmick is the ground will make you bounce every once in a while. I had a lot of fun dodging all the obstacles and trying to keep my speed going. This level had that formula more present than in the other levels, which I really enjoyed as that's what I look for in 2D Sonic games. Act 2, however, is kind of dog ass. There's this pressing a button mechanic that adds a level of urgency to this zone, but I'm not really a fan. It's not really the switch mechanic itself, it's more of the level design, which I feel doesn't really complement the mechanic. I don't know, I just feel like the older games did this way better. This act also didn't have what made the first act so fun, so yeah, a big step down from the first act. The next zone is Golden Capital, and I'ma say this right now, I can't stand this zone. I hate everything from these dumbass poles, this drill thing, running upside down or whatever is happening here, and I especially dislike the damn pinball sections. Why are they here? I thought we already did a pinball world. It's worse in this zone than in Pinball Carnival, like how'd you fuck it up? Also, the setting is incredibly boring. It feels like a level in a generic platformer, not a 2D Sonic game. Act 2 takes place at night, but it doesn't matter because we're still in the same boring environment. They added even more bumper balls and pinball stuff. That's fun. They also added this flying platform that you can control, and it's fine, I guess. Don't really spend much time here. These spinny wheel things annoy me. This level just annoys me, so let's move on. The next zone is Cyber Station. Now this is a pretty good zone. The theme is this blocky retro style, and everything in the zone looks like this. It's honestly really cool. They also added power-ups, like actual power-ups that change the way you play the game. For example, turning into this jellyfish and flying around. Seems like they put a lot of effort here. So why is it only one act? I finally think a zone is showing some creativity, and they make it one act. And what's our next zone looking like? A generic winter base level. Yeah, that's exactly what Frozen Base is. It has nothing going for it visually, and the conveyor belt gimmick ain't anything new. Act 1 isn't terrible, but it's not great either. Act 2 switches things around and has you take control of this airship thing. I will give them some points for creativity, but not much because this is boring. All you have to do is destroy these robot guys and then you fly into space. Time for the final zone, Egg Fortress. For a final zone, it's very There's stuff to like here, but there's really also things to dislike. And the dislikes to me are how slow this level can feel. I get it, it's the final zone, so it should be challenging, but the biggest challenge to me is not getting bored. These spinny wheel things are slow and boring. The anti-gravity isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's still not enough to bring the zone up in my eyes. Another big problem I have, and it's not just for this zone, but the game itself, and that's that none of these zones stick out. They all lack identity. I just finished this game and I was left feeling empty. I didn't feel like I just completed a grand journey like I did when I beat Sonic 3 or even Sonic Mania. My favorite zone in this game is Speed Jungle, but even that one doesn't stick out. The best visual zone to me goes to Pinball Carnival, with Cyberspace being a close second. It's not that these stages are designed bad, but I don't know, for a Sonic game they feel generic. Another thing that hurts this game that I've been neglecting to talk about are the bosses. The first was fun, giving me a false sense of hope. The biggest problem is that they last way too damn long and they take the enjoyment out of playing these zones. Honestly, when I do replay the levels, I exit as soon as I reach the boss. The biggest offender of this is the boss at the end of Cyberspace. This boss took all the enjoyment I had playing this zone. Despite running the whole time, it feels like you're going nowhere, because this fight just drags on and on. Now the biggest part of this game is the 4-player multiplayer, but I don't have friends so I can't really go into this aspect of the game. What I can talk about, however, are the 4 playable characters: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. And what's this secret 5th character? You heard me right. The 5th playable character is Shadow the Hedgehog. Look guys, it's really him. Sonic plays like he does in Mania, aka still having the drop dash, which in my opinion makes him the funnest to play. Tails and Knuckles also play similar to how they always play in the previous games. Tails can fly and Knuckles can glide, climb walls, and break shit. Now Amy is the second funnest player to play as in my opinion, and that's because of her double jump. Her hammer is pretty useful too. Honestly, I'm having a hard time deciding whether I like this game or not. I really want to like this game, I really do, but I just can't say it lives up to the other 2D Sonic games. Well, I do like it more than Sonic 1, so there's that. I'm not saying the game is horrible, but it did leave me disappointed. At the beginning, I said I was nervous about this game, and I think I have the right to be. Again, it's not terrible, but it does leave a lot to be desired. Anyway, go play this game for yourself and gather your own opinion on it, dude. Who knows, maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did. Anyway, like if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and well, I'm out of here.